So let's chat for a second on the topic of prospecting. And this topic here is what separates the web designers and marketers that they struggle and they make 30, 40 grand a year from the others that make 300, 400. So this topic of prospecting is you creating what's known as a pipeline. All right, so behaviorally, there are a lot of, I'll call us growth professionals, all right? A growth professional is anybody that's working with business owners and they're rendering a service from you that's gonna help them grow. So building websites, marketing, advertising, consulting, graphic design, branding, stuff like that. So a lot of growth consultants and growth experts, what they tend to do, they put content out there and they're hoping that people see the content and they say, hey, I want to work with you. Here's my money. Can you help me? And these growth professionals essentially want to be seen first and then engage. And it doesn't work as well as you think, right? Now, conversely, the other consultants that are making, $300,000-$400,000 a year, what we do is we do something known as prospecting. So prospecting is where you're still making the content. You're still making the content, you're still putting stuff out there, but you're doing more of the hunting. So you find Business B, right? Business B has been seeing your content. Even if you threw a pebble at Business B and you said, hey, Business B, I got some ideas to share with you. When they come back to your profile, they're seeing activity. They see that this is what you do. But because you threw that pebble, you got their attention and they feel seen. So again, there's a very big difference between a business reaching out to you to engage you and you throwing that pebble, getting their attention, and then saying, hey, I'd like to share some ideas with you. When a business feels seen, you have the opportunity to acknowledge the great work that they do, and you also have the ability to start and guide that conversation. So what I do, I create content on sales and marketing, right? I post this stuff on YouTube, I post it on Facebook, Instagram, I post stuff on TikTok, but I go out and I find businesses and I get the opportunity to say, hey, I checked out some of your stuff. I love it. I think you do amazing work. I did, however, notice that you aren't doing A, B, and C. Not sure if you've considered it, but would love to share some ideas with you on how A, B, and C typically positively impacts other businesses like yours. Let me know if you have time to chat. That's it. I just sent a quick message. But now here's what I do when it comes to managing my business. After I send that message, I have them in what's known as like a top of funnel pipeline, right? So on average, let's just say that a prospect or client can start to work with me at $1,000. The moment they respond to me or the moment that we have a conversation, they say, yeah, I'd like to chat, I'd like to whatever, I put them into another phase where they are now considered a lead. Now, as a lead, I put a value to that lead. So now I would say, okay, this particular lead is worth $1,500, $2,000. I'm making a guess here. I'm making a wild guess here. Now, at this point, it doesn't matter because all I need to do, or all I want to do at this point, I want to have a list of prospects, right? I want to have a long list of prospects. And let's say that one at 1,500, let's say I have 20 of them, right? So now if I have 20 of them listed and I know all of them, they've engaged me in some way, that means that I am pursuing $30,000 worth of revenue. So now inside of my software, I'm pursuing 30,000 this week or this month. And a portion of them are gonna start to engage me. Another portion is not. So let's say 10% of them, out of the, did I say 20 people? 10% of them, 2 of them engage me and I land 2 clients. Within that week, if I made $3,000 that week, I still, in my mind and in my software, I'm still thinking I have another 20 some odd $1,000 worth of revenue to pursue. And I may kick that to the next month. I may add another 20 grand to my pipeline. But you see how this works? Like I'm building on my pipeline and I'm nurturing it, and I'm not forgetting who reached out. I'm not forgetting who said they weren't ready. I'm not forgetting any of that. I'm putting it into a system. But I want to come back to where all of this started. The reason I'm getting this pipeline is because I am doing the hunting. I am the one going out. And I mean, think about this, right? Let's take apex animals. Apex animals. Let's take a lion. Does the gazelle walk up to the lion and say, hey, are you hungry? No. The lion goes out, uses strategy, and hunts. And you need to as well. And you know what? The day will come when you have this abundance of leads coming in and people are just dying to work with you. And people are like, oh my gosh, I want to be put on the wait list to work with you because I know you're so popular. That day will come. But until that day comes, it is your job to put on your helmet, create the system, create the pipeline, and start pursuing these opportunities. All right? Now, I know prospecting is new to a lot of folks. I know a lot of people are a little intimidated by the concept of starting a pipeline and prospecting. I wrote a little brief ebook and an outline on where you could potentially start. First big thing is to create what your framework even looks like. What does the optimal set of steps even look like for someone to go through in order for you to consider it a good process to sell? Then after that, you should have some estimates up front. You should be able to say, hey, you know, if I can handle this amount of work, I can't stand business owners that try to pursue more business than they can handle. You want to have a manageable business, and then you should have a system to input this stuff into that is manageable, that you want to open, that you're excited to explore. All right, I want to help you out with all of this. All right, so if you're interested, there's a link somewhere inside of the YouTube description here. And for one, I'll give you access to that guide and that framework. Two, or that framework builder. Part of it is leveraging AI to be able to optimize what your pipeline looks like. So whatever your AI of choice is, if it's Claude, if it's ChatGPT, if it's Gemini, I mean, you can use whatever you want, but I'll give you the prompt to be able to identify what your optimal pipeline looks like. And two, I want to also provide you with access to software, all right? I know right now there's a ton of softwares out there, but there's one that I have favored because of one, how easy it is to use, and the wide array of features inside of the platform. All right, so if you have any questions about that stuff, hit me up. But either way, check the link out inside of the description. Click that. I am going to ask you for your email address just so I can keep in contact. There's going to actually, you know what, I'm going to do something here. There's going to be a link. If you don't want to give me your information yet, I'll give you a link just to get it, just because. All right. You don't have to give me your email address. All right. I'll make that deal with you. You don't have to give me your email address. My hope, though, is that you're going to get it. You're going to be like, hey, man, this is very valuable. And you're going to want to keep in contact with me. All right. So if you have any questions about this stuff, hit me up. Again, this guide is all about prospecting. This is how you start to hunt. This is how you don't end up one of these business owners that are just laying on their back saying, business is so hard. Business is so hard. I can't believe it. Entrepreneurship is so hard. It's not. And most of what I'm referring to, like you getting out there and selling, this part isn't even entrepreneurship. This is you being in pursuit of revenue and in pursuit of income, all right? So if you want to learn how to be in pursuit of income, check out this guide, all right? Peace.